Oops. Oops. What's up, buddy? Yep. You okay? You got a question or something? You do have a question? What's up? I'm not on yet. I mean, I think I'm on, but I'm not, on live right now. I mean, I think I'm live, but if you have a question, you want to ask me something? What's up, dog?
So, I don't get what, so I have to do test questions. I don't get what that's wrong. Because I asked him about it, like, if there was stuff like that before the test, and he said no.
He said you've never.
No. I asked him if there was stuff like that on the test, and he said yes, and he explained it to me. Now, I don't get what that's wrong. Maybe the answer key was wrong or something, but.
So D is 42 is wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I have no idea.
So say, you ask Maddie?
Okay.
I don't know. Man, that stuff is, I don't know, buddy. I'm sorry. Geometry is not my strong suit, my friends. Thankfully, I got a smart daughter who can help my. You leave me on TV. You want to see yourself? Hold on a second. Hey guys. All right, let me. I gotta have a short one today. I got an hour, because my wife is out of town, and she's coming back tonight. If I don't get my kids in bed by 8:30, you will never see old Josh again. That's a fact. That is a fact. She says, "You better be." Yeah, John says, "I love you're doing schoolwork with the kids." Yeah, that would be the furthest thing from doing that. That was geometry stuff. Oh my goodness. It pains me to think, John, about geometry. I just, I don't know. I think you have to. I don't know if you got to be like an engineer mindset where you actually see things kind of in 3D. I don't know. I just don't have, which is weird because Liam is very smart. But when it comes to geometry, man, he's scares me. Anyway, so we're gonna get off here at a hard stop at 8:30 tonight, my friends. So we'll try to minimize my yapping as much as we can, just because if y'all have questions, I certainly want to get to them. Let me make sure I got this up. So just real quick, pop this out. Oh, I keep doing that. All right, hold on just a second, because she got an early flight from Texas. She went with one of her or two of her friends, the Melissas, we call them, to California. James says, I got seniors in high school, man. Liam's in 6th grade. Ooh. Anyway, so when Charlotte gets back tonight, she got an early flight, so she'll be getting back and rolling about 9:30 or 10. And trust me, they won't be awake by then. But anyway, we'll get off here, hard stop at 8:30 for sure. So California, Mexico, New York, right on. I haven't showered all day, so if you're wondering why I still got my hat on, it's because we've been working hard, playing hard, as terrible Ted Nugent would say. Work hard, play hard. Here in the Scanlon household, man, it's been a great weekend, man. I cooked so much stuff. I cooked these freaking to die for pork chops, which I brined last night. They were good. We'd made this quick and easy chicken last night. Every one of my kids loved it. Pablo's jonesing for it, but can't get it to Pablo. But then today we went running with Pablo I did a video on the stage, just taking those slow-mo videos of Pablo flying. He could probably run a 2.440. That's how fast that guy is. It's crazy. Denise taught geometry in Africa when she's in the Peace Corps. Liam is, Lily, did Maddie text you back? You want to bring the thing in? Maybe we'll get someone to answer it for us. No? All right. Sorry, Denise. Liam says he doesn't want to bring it in. To be perfectly honest with you, let's admit it. School, I'm reading this book called Unschooled by Carrie McDonald, I think her name is. And they use a couple examples where school is literally, is like Mark Twain says, where you get your learning outside of school or something like that. But Colorado, Ohio, right on, Michigan. But school is, the whole point about schooling is to get you to be a form-fitting, member of a, society that puts you in this box. And yet I learn my best from just my own devices, and I'm still 49, reading, learning, and all that. And the idea you got to go to school to learn is crazy, nuts. But anyway, what are you gonna do, man? All right, so I want to kind of go over a couple things before we get started. This is a Mayor Pete town hall. No, it'll be Elizabeth Warren town hall, which she got told by some guys. She goes, so I'm basically screwed because you're going to get $50,000. All these people have student loans that I worked a second shift to save for my kid, and you're just going to screw me. And Elizabeth Warren says, yeah, thanks, Elizabeth. Thanks. All right. So anyway, Worcester, right on, South Florida, Rob. First of all, I just want to say I never was big. Kobe Bryant, he died. And you're seeing this all over YouTube. And I don't have any affinity or I just Kobe Bryant never did much to me, other than the fact I think it's pretty cool. A guy from where he come from, Philadelphia, and I think he like right outside Philly. He followed his path in high school and went to the NBA and dominated. I think it's cool. I like that. That happened with that guy. But the point about this isn't to make this an accolade for Kobe Bryant. It's just, are you prepared? I cannot stress this enough. People die all the time. And look, we will never get. Kobe Bryant's well known, all that. I get all that. But how many people are dying today on the roads, on the highways because of a doctor mistake? And this isn't to bash doctors, but people die all the time. Are you prepared if there were to happen to you? And then you take that with the coronavirus, and I don't know what's going on. All I know is I don't trust China as far as I could kick them. But I do know that they're quarantining millions of people. I don't know what that was going on. No one knows what's going on. But are you prepared for the calamity, be it a sudden death or a sudden illness? Do you have enough, not just savings, but enough supplies to cover you for 2 weeks? I bet you don't. And maybe you all do on this channel, but I think I'm going to do a video. I'm going to buy this. I have enough Mountain House supplies and various supplies. I probably won't buy. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But anyway, buy 3 to 5 days of nothing else, of just emergency food, just dehydrated food, and put it in your attic, put it in your basement, probably in your basement, put it someplace where it's not going to get eaten by mice and whatnot. Just freaking take that, get some water, get some iodine tablets, anything to get prepared if the calamities happen and there's no electricity where you can't get things delivered. No power. You don't have a pump because the electricity to move the gasoline isn't flowing through the pump. I mean, just, anytime we see these things, it always says, are my preps in order? And frankly, I got 4 or 5, a battery bank of about 4 or 5, got 3 DC 12 volt DCs. Well, I got all kinds of 12 volts, but I got 3 car batteries down there. Well, I got 3 cars. So I got 4 car batteries. And I got 2 deep cycle marine batteries. I mean, I'm telling you right now, my deep cycles are not recharged. I'll say that right now. I got 1 solar PV panel that's freaking 200 watts. I'll probably be able to generate, maybe a kilowatt hour a day. That's not gonna that's nice. Nothing wrong with that. Which is nice. I got charge control, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, 1 solar panel isn't going to get the job done it will charge itself on all that. I get it, but you got to have more. You got to have some source of backup electricity. And that's why, inverter generators are good. Your natural gas hookup, if you have natural gas, it's a wonderful mechanism. Natural gas is so much more reliable than the quote unquote grid. And I don't think people are prepared enough. I just don't. And in times like this, where you got a sudden death from a healthy, rich guy and his daughter too. What have you got? What have you got, man? I'm being morbid. Okay. Fully stocked bunker. I completely agree, man. And I just get your state documents, but that's even not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about if the electricity went out, if the utilities went out, if the grid went down, if someone suddenly got killed, would you be able to survive? Just forewarned. And was it forewarned is forearmed or something like that? My basement tunnels of basements. Yeah, and 2 AR. I mean, I tell you, all the ARs in the world, I don't even care over unders. It doesn't matter if you have no ammunition. Doesn't mean anything. And I was going to buy some gold. I was going to wait here until the end of the month and buy some more gold, little quarters. So, buying an ounce of gold is fine, but an ounce is a pretty hefty price, and you don't want to trade an ounce for barter. You want to get, a little tenth or quarter ounces of gold for sure. It costs a bit more, but certainly well worth it. Look, this isn't zombie stuff, man. We're not saying that zombies are coming. We're just saying things happen all the time. And this is why I actually like owning gold. Look at my man, Harry, AKARSKS. Yeah, there's James, 3 hurricanes in South Florida. I remember the last one, you couldn't get there was a gas truck that I followed the guy Sundance on the conservativetreehouse.com, theconservativetreehouse.com, not a pro-Republican website. He's pro-Trump, but not pro-Republican by any stretch of the imagination. And he was talking about the last hurricane that went through that, basically the pumps weren't working to pump the gas. And so then the people were like following these gas trucks on the highway. And you're driving around following these gas trucks. And then my man, Steve Harris he used to be from Michigan. I'm not sure where he lives anymore. He does battery1234.com, solar1234.com. And I think both those websites are down. I haven't looked at them for a while. A couple months ago, they were down. But he was talking about how people were driving around during Hurricane, what was the one in New Jersey? I was part of that. I forgot what it was that won the election for Obama. What was that hurricane called? I forgot what it was. But anyway, and the people are driving around looking for gas so they could pump up their generator. He's like, you have a generator in your car. All you need is an inverter, you need a battery, and you need some cables. That's it. You have a anyway, all right, I don't want to go too much on that, but please get your stuff squared away before it hits, because when it hits, it's too late, man. Let me just go to battery 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on a second. Hold on just a second. Battery 1234.com. Yeah, there you go. Battery1234.com. Absolutely. Good amount. Sandy, that's what it was. Right on, Harry. I was part of that. So battery1234.com, and man, whatever Steve Harris put, he's a crazy man. I like him. He's nuts, and nuts in a good way. He's hyper guy, but all his stuff is fantastic. So, all right, let's see what we got here. All right, so good. Like I said, we're going to cut it early tonight, my friends. Denise taught geometry in Africa when she's in the Peace Corps. That's freaking awesome, Denise. Yeah, no matter who you are, life is short. Right on, man. And Herbert retired. Herbert retired 3 months ago. Best decision ever. Right on, man. Imagine. And I'm not sure if he's on this or not, but Alberto from California talks about how like 5 or 6 of his colleagues he saw die literally at their deaths or something. I mean, I can't remember, but at work. Horrible. Solar panels are not a scam. I mean, solar panels to power what we need is a scam, for sure. In fact, I was just reading today, but solar photovoltaic is not a scam. I mean, solar photovoltaic, Kevin, is a great use to charge batteries for sure. That's not a scam. I mean, I don't believe in that at all. I think solar can actually work. It's just it'll never be enough to power what we need. But anyway, check this out. You guys want to hear something funny? So on instapundit.com, which I follow religiously, he talks about, but you want to hear a solar scam. Hold on just a second. This is Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, lost $400 million in a solar scam. And I'll read it to you here in just a second if I can find it. Hold on just a second. Hold on. I will find it. Maybe I won't. All right. But anyway, if you go to instapundit.com, yeah, right here. Bay Area coupled to be jailed for massive solar power Ponzi scheme worth $1 billion. Jeff and Paulette Karpov launched DC Solar in Benicia to provide trailer-mounted mobile solar generators for off-grid uses. But the company morphed into a Ponzi scheme anyway, long story short, investors included Berkshire Hathaway, which lost $340 million in the scheme. Seems like someone did a video on the easy way to get rich is to offer green solutions, and you can easily separate people from their hard-earned money. It's weird on that. So anyway, all right. So what are we saying here? So Hurricane. All right. So JD retiring next Monday. I can't get that over. Hold on a second. Freaking awesome. Today with Kobe's sudden death, remind me again that life is too short to work at something you don't enjoy just for extra money you'll likely never need. Man, could not agree more, Jill. I just I could not agree more. I could not agree more for sure. I just now obviously I don't want you to retire so you're freaking eating cat food and living under the bridge with all the other junkies. But is that going to happen? No. Get everything in order for natural disaster, for a sudden death, a sudden just incapacity. I mean, strokes happen all the time. To all this stuff happens. Are you ready? Doesn't mean you're walking around like, oh my goodness, the Muslims are going to kill me, or oh my goodness, there's a Nazi under my neighbor's bed, or just everyone's a Nazi, everyone's a Muslim terrorist. It's silly. It's silly. If the amount of people were these bad people that people are claiming, we'd all be dead. The whole thing is silly. Don't fall into that. It's feeling that people are inherently evil and bad. There's some ass clowns among us, but most people are actually quite good. How do we know? Because we're here. We are. Just like the 10th mountain hat, because I haven't combed my hair today. And like I said in one of my videos, I said when you have long hair, you can't comb your hair, CJ, with your fingers. You got to put a hat on or else take a shower. And I knew we were going to do a lot of running around today. So I just said, and my wife isn't here, so I have to shave her, showered. I did make the bed. I make the bed every day. All right. Troy, the 3-bucket plan contradicts your ideas about delaying Social Security. 3-bucket plan contradicts your ideas about delaying collection of Social Security until later years for the yearly 8% increase. Hope I understand. I don't necessarily subscribe to the 3-bucket plan, so I got no qualm with that. I don't get why it'd be contradictor. Is that the right word? I don't understand why someone advocating a 3-bucket plan would be inherently against taking Social Security later. In fact, if you look at the book Buckets of Money from this guy right here, who went against the SEC in his one, but he had to spend a lot of money to clear his name because the freaking government has all the resources. And if you ever get their ire, you're SOL. And everyone, of course, thinks the government never tells a lie. And so because the government never tells a lie, Ray Lucia must be corrupt because the government says he is. Yeah, kiss my butt, government. That's all I got to say about that. I don't know what Ray would say on delaying Social Security, but this is basically the author of the bucket plan for retirement income. My inclinations, I imagine he's probably okay with taking Social Security later. But, it's something I do think about, though, Troy. I mean, at the end of the day, I go back and forth on this. I don't think you should ever take it at 62. Should you take it at 70 or full retirement age? I think that's kind of a coin flip. And the reason for that is because I don't think the vast majority of us are going to live beyond 90. I just don't. I think the vast majority of us are going to die well before we hit 90. And because of that, if you take Social Security at 67 or 70, you'll still get 15 to 20 years of good income from Social Security for sure. The vast majority of us are not going to live that long. In fact, just listening to what's his name, Eric Weinstein, and he was interviewing, I can't remember the podcast, and they don't believe this AI thing. They think they think there's some credence to this, but they're not falling into this thing like we're gonna wake up one day and there's gonna be all these self-driving cars out there. They think it's I don't want to put words in the mouth. They don't think it's a scam. They think it's way overhyped. And I start think about that. What if they're right? What if it is way overhyped? Rick Edelman's like, we're gonna live to our 200. I'm just anyway. I mean, think about it. Why do we have the massive increase in longevity now? And it's not even that massive, to be perfectly honest with you. The massive increases are a child mortality. So now we know to wash hands. We followed the Ignaz Semmelweis model. And again, he was roundly criticized and actually thrown into a Looney Tunes bin in the Vienna in the late 1800s for going against the science by saying, just wash your hands, man, before you deliver another baby, fools. Anyway, so basic hygiene, and then we don't smoke. All right, so you get rid of those two things. You don't smoke, you wash your hands and basic hygiene, and all of a sudden we're living longer. All right, so we were able to, that has basically transformed in terms of longevity, but it's really only gone about 10 years or so, or the last 100 years. So the idea we're gonna be living to 200 is just, it's insanity to me. especially given the obesity issues that are happening all over the place, because we've been told by the same government who loves us, hey, don't eat fat, but eat high carbs. Nuts to all that. All right, so let's see. Carol, your name sounds familiar to me a little bit, Carol, but you seem relatively new here. Have I priced cat food today? I have no cats, man. Ain't never gonna happen, Vic. So what I was saying about Social Security is, like, I don't think you should take it at 62, because I do think you should delay to get at least your PIA. It's a matter of a coin flip if you take it to 70 versus taking it at 67, unless you're married, unless you have some, pretty big IRA distributions and whatnot. But I kind of go back and forth. You cannot make an argument for me that you should take it at 62 unless you're single, unless you're in bad shape, or if you're the lower income earning spouse, then maybe. But other than that, I think most people should wait. Got to go back to their crew cut. Now, I never like crew cuts either. I always liked like that and just comb it over, man. Never high and tight. Only had a high and tight right when I went to AIT, Dustin. Contrary, right on. Rick says, is a 15% of my Social Security that was not taxed using the IRMA calculation? No, because they're looking at your modified adjusted gross income. So they're literally looking at, there's going to be tax exempt interest. They're taking your modified adjusted gross income, Rick, and that would not include. So, let's see. So we take. Well, it won't be, because of the modified adjusted gross income doesn't include your tax-free Social Security. If that makes sense. So 15% of your Social Security is tax-free will not be included in IRMA. A good question though. Contrary or contradict to the words you'll think of. Right on, Tony. Tony's an English teacher. Harry, I haven't run the numbers yet. I haven't retired yet. Excuse me. Ran the numbers and figured out that every month I delayed retiring, I'll get about 30 months in forever income until I reach my 25th year or turn 60. All right. So he's saying, I ran the numbers, figure out that every month I delay, I'll get another 30 months in forever income until I reach my 25th year or turn 60. Okay. And then after that, I can't remember, Harry, does that stop at 61? I just don't recall. So, 30. So every month, so if you work an extra 12 months, that'd give you 12 times 30. Yeah, that's 30. That's $360 a month. That's $360 a month. I can't figure that out. So if you work an extra 12 months, you'll get another 360 a year. But your situation, you're fine. Harry, you can do whatever you want to do. You know that. Troy says, should we spend all or most investments to delay collecting Social Security? Is it mutually exclusive that you have to do one and you can't do the other? You see what I'm saying? Like, what I mean by that, you have to spend all your money in which to delay collecting Social Security. And that's a different challenge, man. That's a different challenge. All right. Right on, Dan. So, if you got $100,000 and that's all the money you have, and then you can delay taking Social Security for a couple of years, I'd spend $100,000 and take Social Security. Absolutely. I don't know how else you can do that, because Social Security is by far and away the best one there is. There's just no other way around that from a tax perspective, and you'll pay no income tax if that's all you got is Social Security. So if I had $100,000 and I could take Social Security at 62 and not take my $100,000, or I had $100,000, spend that and take Social Security even at 65, I'd spend the $100,000 and take Social Security at 65. And because that $100,000 will be gone, and all my Social Security money will have grown at 8%. Well, I guess by then it's like 7.5%. But it's tax free, man. Tax free, and there's no risk of the market. That Social Security is not getting cut. I don't care. I hear people all the time, they're going to cut Social Security. People say they're just idiots. I'm sorry to say, they're not cutting Social Security. They're just not. Who was I? Some guy had sent me an email today, or maybe comment on the spreadsheet on the YouTube channel. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, are you still? Oh man, look, if you want to get scared, by all means do so. I refuse to play that game, because at the end of the day, the politicians still control Social Security. Politicians, they have one job only, is to retain office. They're not cutting Social Security. And I read something today, stupid thinkadvisor.com. Trump says cutting Social Security and Medicare is the easiest cuts to make. I was like, no one, Trump never said Stupid, stupid, stupid. And I know it's just clickbait to get people to say, this is what someone said about Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell said they're going to cut Social Security. They post all these things, memes in 2014. Then Trump wins. They post all these memes that McConnell and Trump are going to cut Social Security. It's the same thing. And then they have these headlines from left-wing groups, and you're just like, would you just stop? No one reads the articles. Yeah, it depends on family history or health. 100% depends on if you're married. I mean, all that stuff. There's a lot that depends on that without question. I mean, if you're going to die tomorrow, then, I don't know if it matters, frankly. Outer DeWay cabin. All right. Currently 47, wife 50. He's going to retire in 7 years. He has 750,000 saved and 4,000 pension. Right on. No bills. House paid off in 5. Is it too early to meet with me to talk about retirement planning? Yeah, probably, just because, I mean, it doesn't make sense while you're still working, generally speaking, to add fuel to the fire when we know in a couple of short years your income's going to go down, if that makes sense. I mean, we could discuss all day long about if this were to happen, then that should happen. But that's, I mean, we can, I don't know. I don't think I would right now. I think it's too early, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't see any benefit other than saying, I actually don't see it. I guess you could say, well, if you're in a 22% tax bracket, we can devise a plan to potentially keep in the 22% tax bracket by Roth conversions and whatnot. Okay, but if you wait 5 years, you can do that at a freaking 10% tax bracket potentially. So yeah. Pablo, Chloe, where is Pablo? What's that? Okay, Pablo's with my daughter, Chloe. Oh, I think he's coming. Okay, but Chloe's got Pablo. Do you think keeping the option of taking Social Security income at 62 is a hedge against sequence of return risk? Yeah, no, I do think that is an option, Scott. So the question is, if the market is bad for the first 3 years of retirement and you took it at 62, that would reduce your sequence of return risk. Yeah, no, 100%. But there's a better way to do that, in my opinion, called the barbell. And the barbells, you got your stocks and you got cash. Literally this simple right here. So basically, if sequence of return risk falls, well, you pull from cash. And if after 3 years, the stocks haven't gone back up to where they were and you're out of cash, well, then maybe pull the trigger on Social Security. But until then, no, the barbell approach works great. I just love the barbell because it leaves enough cash on the side where you don't have to take stocks that are getting killed and you don't have to draw Social Security early. Does it leave you exposed to less market potential upside? Yeah, but the whole paradigm shifts once you're taking income as opposed to once you're saving. Just real quick, I was watching a Wealth Track with Consuelo Mack, where she's interviewing Jonathan Clements, Mary Beth Franklin, and a couple other people. One other guy from Wells Fargo, I think. Man, it's like they were pushing annuities. Like I was like, what is this? The insurance company's sponsors? But anyway. Mary Beth Franklin said, this is just 2 years ago, that a 65-year-old man could put $100,000 into an SPIA, an income annuity, and generate $700 a month. And I said, man, that's an 8.4% distribution rate. And I just looked, I said, there's no way. And the reason that's not true. And I looked at, right here, Treasury, you can't really see that, but I looked at treasury.gov and I said, did I miss something? Where 2018, the interest rates a whole lot higher than they are now? And the answer is no. The 30-year treasury back then was still in the low 3%. In fact, it started 2.97, went up to 2.88, 2.81. I mean, this is in 2018, 2.5. So you weren't getting $8,400 a year on a $100,000 income annuity. That's an 8.4% distribution rate. It wasn't happening. And I just don't get, I sit there and Infuriates me. And then Consuela showed this chart that said like 94% of people, of workers, were covered by a traditional pension in 1979, and only 35% were now. It's that that is completely not true. There's no evidence of that. I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, I don't understand. I'm sitting, it's laziness, and I don't think that. Well, I don't know. I don't know about who. I don't know. I don't think Consuela Mack has any reason to be misleading us, other than she's best friends with Teresa Girardelli, the chocolate factory lady, but that's not her real name. But anyway, I was like, what are you talking about? And then they had a variable annuity pusher from Wells Fargo talking about you can get a 9% guaranteed income stream, and if the markets go up, you can give yourself a raise. I say, you're never going to get a raise if you're taking 9% a year out. I was sitting there thinking, you just got to watch. You got to watch. You don't trust anybody. Myself, don't look, validate. Trust, but I wouldn't even trust. You got to validate whatever any of these people are saying, because it's all fake. You're not getting $8,400 a single, even on a single life, and a 65-year-old man is not getting $8,400 on 100,000 speed. It's not happening. There's no 94% of American workforce was covered under a pension in 1979, and it's only 35% now. It's simply not true. There's no 9% guaranteed minimum income benefit on a variable annuity that if the markets go up, you get a raise. That's simply is not going to happen. It's not. And then my man Clement started chiming in there, and I'm just not a big fan of that guy. All right. Pablo got some people. Oh, he was here just a second ago. Hey, right on. John Taylor, first time joining after. Come on, buddy. Everyone wants to see you. Look at old Pablo. There he is. Hey, he's got his carrot. Hey, Pablo. All right. No politician wants to touch Social Security with a 10-foot pole. We learned that from George Bush, man. Oh, it's okay. So Harry's gonna get $360 a month for 12 more months of working. Harry, you don't hate your job. I would probably stay. Let's see. Yeah, 3 to 5 years cash bucket, says Sergio. Yep. Ooh, speaking of which, I don't know if you saw my video. I don't know if I did a video on this yet. But Sergio and all of you out there who are somewhat interested in the Right Capital stuff, Right Capital now has modeling for reverse mortgages. It is flipping awesome. It is flipping awesome. You got to go under profile, and then you go to property, and then loans. So you go to profile, profile, default to net worth. So for those of you who are on, I'll do some videos on this coming up week. For those of you who use Right Capital, profile, default to net worth, and then you go down this column, the vertical column, it'll say property, and you want to put in their property there, and you can model a reverse mortgage in there. You can model a home equity line. You can model only paying interest only. You can model all kinds of stuff. It's awesome. All right, Parrot. All right. Right on, James. We'll be joining Subscribestar. So real quick on Subscribestar, that's my monthly donation at $10 a month. You can get in, get out whenever you want. I didn't do it this last Wednesday. I just didn't feel that good. So I need to rest up. And my wife was leaving the following day, so I didn't want to be, sitting there. I had a kid who just got over strep. Oh, watch this. Oh, wait, where's your toy go? I was going to show him. Oh, man. Where's your cat? Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. You lost your cat. Go get lamb chop. Subscribestar, I do a bi-weekly. Is that every 2 weeks? I just started the other, probably 3 weeks ago. Call in, so literally a call in or an email thing, whatever you want to do. For the folks who, donate $10 a month to me. I don't know how else to say it. And sometimes they'll have access to, various things that I do that I won't give to my regular YouTube audience. There's no big, look, don't take this wrong. It's just a way to, so I appreciate you all supporting me. I appreciate you all being here. But James said he'll be joining Subscribestar, and I get a lot of people ask about that. It's like Patreon, but when Patreon jumped the shark because what's that guy, Sargon of Akkad or something like that? I mean, these people are not freaking Nazis. And when they said we're going to ban Sargon of Akkad, Sargon, something like that, even Sam Harris and all these guys got off. What's the guys up in Canada, Jordan Peterson? They said, forget you guys. And then they went to Subscribestar, which says we're open for anybody. And I support a couple of people on Subscribestar: Styx Hexenhammer, Tim Pool, Paul Joseph Watson, and Dave Cullen out of Ireland. I support 4 guys on Subscribestar. It's not much. I probably pay, for me, $30 a month between them, just because I like independent sources of information. I really, really do. And I feel like, if that's important to you, then by all means, go to Subscribestar and support me. But don't feel like you have to. You can still come here for sure. It's fine. No big deal. I say take Social Security first. You can pass on IRA, correct? If it's there, sure, and it's going to be taxable. But so Canes fan, Miami Hurricanes says, or maybe that's the Carolina Hurricanes. I think that's Miami, because I think he's been on here before. I say take Social Security first. You can pass on IRA. I disagree, but the situation dictates, folks. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's just the situation dictates for sure. Look, if you're smoking, and this is what I say, man, you might want to pick up smoking when you're 65. That way, you'll be dead by 85. You're done. Get that carton of Cools that we used to be able to get for like $8 at the PX. Actually, I used to smoke Newport. So I think you get a carton of Newports at the PX for like $8. Now, like $50 for a carton or something like that. It's nuts. Nuts out there, I tell you. Yeah, weird. The libs want to ban cigarette smoking, but they love marijuana smoking, even though there's no filters on joints, but there are filters on cigarettes. Kind of strange. Old people vote. Yep. No politician. Yep. Could not agree more. No one's cutting Social Security. Could not agree more. Catherine Cantley. All right. Haven't heard that name, so welcome aboard. I'm lucky enough to be one of those people who could collect my ex-husband's Social Security. I knew that guy was good for something. So Catherine says she was lucky enough to collect her ex-husband's Social Security and delaying her own till she's 70. All right. I think you're talking about survivor benefit. I'm hoping. I do not believe you can do that for ex-spousal benefits. So, Catherine, you're going to want to clarify if it's survivor, your ex-husband's dead, then you're right. And that's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful strategy. If it's spousal, as a divorcee, you can't delay yours until 70. Off the top of my head, I'd have to. It's a quick and easy answer. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But I know for a spousal benefit, the survivor benefit, you can. So just clarify if he's dead or if he's still kicking and rooting for the Yankees, because then we know, other than leaving you with a Social Security benefit, he's not good for nothing. They might not think about cutting Social Security, but they might move the target. All right, 65. Yeah, but Vic, 65. When did they move the target to 67? A long ass time ago. The idea that they're suddenly going to say, Vic, we're going to change the goalpost. It's not going to happen. I still think 70, they should move it to, for sure. But they should move it to, now I'm 49. It's too late for me now. So you should say, I don't know, hell, people born in 2020 and beyond, your full retirement age is 70. I have no qualm with that. None whatsoever. It's stupid not to do that. But at the end of the day, the politicians, they're going to say, oh, Trump wants to cut the benefits, even though he just wants to move the FRA. So they put on some blue plate commission. The blue plate commission will say, this is what we want to do. And, but it takes just the level of insanity from the left anymore. You can't, these guys aren't going to come up with anything until they own the whole thing, like they did in 2009 and 10 with Obama. And then they were so focused on healthcare that they overlooked a lot of opportunities they had. They really did. And now it's just too split that there's going to be a come to Jesus moment. And the come to Jesus moment is simply going to be, we're not going to cut benefits. They're going to raise employer taxes or a payroll tax. I mean, you can see this a mile away. They'll probably raise the cap, which is stupid, which will piss me off, because I'm like, man, I make more than the cap is. And because that, I'm just paying an extra 7.65 times 2 is 15.3. Is that right? 15.3. I mean, so for every $100,000 you make, that's $15,300 from the employer and the employer side. You're not punishing the rich, man. You're punishing the self-employed people. And they can kiss my butt if they think the self-employed people are all kinds of wealthy. Yeah, screw that crap, man. A lot of people making good money haven't made good money the majority of their lives. They just happen to, somehow been able to get into a groove like I have. And I'm making good money now. It's great. I love it. Could not be. And look, good money to you might not be good money. Good money to me might not be good money to you. That's for sure. But yeah, I'm stunned how well you guys have done for me. And look, I'm not making freaking $250,000. Don't get me wrong, but I did break the Social Security limits last year. In 2018, I only had $24,000. So just FYI. My FICA increases something like 15 or 16 a month for every month I wait to retire. I don't get why your FICA would increase. Why would your FICA tax increase, Mark? Unless every month you're getting a pay raise. I don't get that. I don't understand why your FICA tax would increase. Fred, Ravens fan, if you are just joking you, Fred, just joking you. You can say the same thing about the Pats. Oh, speaking of which, my man Rob's on here. We know for a fact the days of the glory of the Boston sports dominance is over now. Tom Brady came, he smiled with his pearly whites and his bright blue eyes, and he shined his light on all of Boston sports franchises. How many World Series does Sox win? I think 4, right? Sox have won 4. How many did they win pre-Brady with the Pats? 0. How many cups did the Bruins win? 1. How many did they win? When was the last time they won a cup? Like in 65 or something like that? Or is it before that? And they've been to another one where if they would have gone Game 7, they would have beat the Hawks. And they went to another one, Game 7 against St. Louis. And if only freaking Brad Marchand would have played the puck in the last 4 seconds of the first period, they could have kept the puck out of the freaking offensive zone. And they could have won Game 7. Either way, the Bees have been playing exciting hockey. I don't know. I don't follow the Celtics. I guess they won one. All right, they've won one NBA championship, and then of course the Pats are the best team ever. So Tom Brady before Brady, no Pats, no Bees. Celtics were always good, obviously, and certainly no Sox since 1918. With a touchdown, Tommy, how many? Six, count them, 6 Super Bowls, 6 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl losses. 3 AFC championship losses as well. Insane. Sox, 4 World Series, the Bees a cup. And of course, the Celtics a cup, and the Bees 2 appearances in the Stanley Cup Finals too. Tom Brady goes to Tennessee. It's over, man. It's been good. It's been good. But you watch, Brady was the magic. So anyway, if you are married, the highest earner should delay taking Social Security because of survivor benefits, says my man Fred. Could not agree more. Not doing so is cheating the lower earning spouse. And I don't want to go that far and say cheating, but I think be ignorance more than anything. I agree. So I'm 4 years older than my better half, Charlotte, who's in the air right now, flying back to Atlanta. Yay. Can't wait to give her big hugs. And hopefully the house is clean enough for her. Man, I was cooking like a champ, though. Oh, and I wasn't using the grill, just cooking in the stove. Oh, man, some good food. Anyway, so Fred, so I'm going to delay taking Social Security because of the delayed earnings credits, but also because Charlotte will then get the survivor benefit upon my demise. Because I'm older, I'm a man, I'm going to die first for sure. And then I made more money than she did because of the wage gap. The women are discriminated against in wages against men. Oh, I'm joking when I say that. So all you who people, I'm just there is no wage gap. Stop. All right. So let's see here. All right. Ooh, man. I didn't think I was going to yap this much. Hey, David Brown quitting his COG in April. Ugh, take that crappy little job and then join this country in our fit. Freaking awesome, dude. Awesome. There's nothing wrong with Social Security, says Alcan. Most people today pay way more into it than they'll ever collect. Social Security only looks at 35 years, and most work 45 to 50. Could not agree more. I did a video just yesterday, showing maybe 2 days ago, my own thing. I paid into it in 1984 and every other year since. It wasn't much, but I've been paying into it, and all those previous years can be wiped out. They're going to take my top 35. Papa was dropping a load on my rug before my wife gets home. I don't mind the loads. It's the peeing, man. The peeing. Now, he doesn't do that much or anymore at all. He did a little bit. And man, I was on there because I used to clean carpets for a living when I was in college. And whew, I know how to clean that sucker off fast. But if I don't get to it in time, it's nasty. The dropping the bombs don't bother me so much. I can get that in 2 seconds flat. Hell, when we're in Honduras, we used to have to freaking burn our own poop. So that doesn't bother me. It's the peeing. If I catch him peeing, ooh, that's bad news. I don't smack him right away. Say, Papa, no. But drop the bomb. Whoa, 3% cash through TIA. That's freaking smoking, Scott. What is the best way to buy life insurance as an inheritance for my kids? All right. So you want, Jack, I'm assuming you're married. You're going to want to get a second to die life insurance policy with minimum cash value, for the love of the good Lord. Cash value is not what we're shooting for. If anyone tries to sell you on their high cash value, that's not what we're shooting for. You want a minimum life insurance on a second to die. And the reason why a second to die, if you're married, well, you don't have to, well, I guess it depends on the insurance company. I die, my wife is still around. The insurance does not pay out until she dies, which means there's 2 lives, which means the insurance company essentially says we're going to get a whole lot more premiums because when old Josh dies, we're still going to collect premiums while Miss Charlotte is still alive and well and hanging out with the pool boy. And so because of that, they know they're going to get more premiums and not going to have to pay for another 5, 6, 10 years or so. And so that's why second to die is the way to go, for sure, for sure. I love second to die life insurance. I'm a huge fan. You don't want term, you don't want whole life, you want a guaranteed universal life, a GUL. John Hancock had a great policy. I don't know if they still do. I love this policy. I used to sell like crazy when I was at USAA. And the issue is that the guaranteed universal life has just enough cash value to keep the policy in force, but it doesn't have significant amounts that you can borrow and all that stuff. Well, you can borrow against it tax-free. Nah, forget all that. We're not wanting to do any of that. We want to have enough in there to keep the policy in force. So that way it is enforced when we die. We don't want to have much in there in order to, because essentially what happens is at your death, the cash value just goes to the kids anyway in the form of the death benefit. So it's essentially a wasted cash value. So you want a policy that has a cash value component, a universal life, not a whole life. Whole life's way too expensive. We don't want that. We want a universal life. The risk is on you, not the insurance company. So there is some risk there. But if it's the G, a guaranteed, it's kind of like an extended term with a little bit of cash value. And so because this has a G for universal life, guaranteed UL, that means it's more expensive, certainly, than term, less expensive than whole life because there's really no cash value component. But certainly more expensive than term. But it means it'll be there as long as you do what you're supposed to do, which is pay the premium. So the premium won't be cheap, but it really depends. I think we had a 250,000 second die policy. Charlotte and I did, paying like $120 a month that we bought when I was 35 or something like that. And I did cash that out to start my business, actually, which I don't want to do, but it's like you got to do what you got to do. Anyway, I love life insurance. I haven't done any videos on this life insurance for kids yet, and Papa's behind me here. I want to see him again. What's he doing? Hey, busted. Hello. Hey. Oh, here he goes. He wants to come up. Come on, buddy. Come on up. Okay, he just took off. This wouldn't really necessarily be inheritance for kids. I don't know if I'd call it inheritance, but so what I have is I have $50,000 death benefit that I got whole life for all 4 of my children twice. So each kid has 2 $50,000 whole life policies that are 20-year paid up, which we took out. I mean, hell, we took out when, like Liam was like 8 months, Cav was probably 1.5 years, Chloe's like 4, and Maddie was 7. We have 1 through USAA and 1 through the Knights of Columbus. The reason why I went to the Knights of Columbus, because if memory serves, it's been a while since I looked at it, is a participating, which means it pays dividends, which is actually pretty sweet. Paid up additions through dividends, which I'm a huge fan of, and very, very few companies do that anymore. Anyway, so what happens is after 20 years, and we probably get 8 years left, that we don't have to pay more premiums on that. And then they're guaranteed a minimum interest rate on the cash that is in there. It's probably $15,000, $20,000, and maybe not that. I mean, let's say 15,000 bucks. Probably not. Probably 8,000 bucks on each account. I'll tell them I don't remember. So let's just say they each get an account of 8,000 bucks. All right. So $16,000 of cash value. It's paid up. They no longer have to pay any more premium at all. So they have a $50,000 guaranteed death benefit. They no longer have to pay a premium, and I'm just going to gift it to them. If they're not sniffing up their nose, I'll say, here, you can have the money. You can keep the life insurance. You can take the cash if you want, and it might be a little bit of tax on that, but I don't think it'd be much. But if you keep the life insurance, you literally don't need to do anything and just allow the cash to accumulate for years and years and years to come. At some point, the cash value gets so high that it inherently increases the death benefit to keep it as an insurance contract as opposed to an annuity. And that's a pretty sweet place to be. So it's, that's a long ways down. But the USAA one has a nice benefit too, is that it's a guaranteed issue where they can increase their life insurance amounts by, a certain amount. I think it's 4 times the initial death benefit without ever having to go through underwriting again. So if they ever had an issue with underwriting, let's say they went to Iraq and they got a lung that from a chemical that they were dealing with in Iraq, like one of my friends did, and they couldn't get life insurance anymore. Well, in this case, they're guaranteed to be able to increase their life insurance by 4 or 8 times the initial face value. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Underwriting is incredibly simple for a kid. It's literally they're going to ask you a couple questions and that's it. And the negative is anytime they're doing simple underwriting, you're not really getting the best rating because the insurance company doesn't know. Exactly. It's easy to lie. But when you're that young, it's so freaking cheap anyway. It doesn't matter. So I think I pay $20 a month roughly for each of my kids. I think for Maddie's a little bit more expensive because she's the oldest. So let's just say $20 a month on average. Wait 1 second. Hey, my wife just landed. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna wind this down here just a second. All right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna get in trouble. We're gonna wind this down here just a second. Anyway, so what happens is we're paying $20 a month for each of the kids so that's $40 a month times 4. That's $160 a month for 20 years. After 20 years, it's completely paid off. I can keep it, as a owner of it. They are the beneficiary and they are the insured. No, wait, who's the beneficiary? I guess I'd still be the beneficiary because you don't want to do the unholy trinity of an owner, an insured, and a beneficiary. You don't want those 3 people to be different. You want 2 of those 3 people to be the same. So I'm the owner and the beneficiary. My children are the insured, and then I'd hand it over to them as the owner at some point in the future. And it won't be subject to gift tax. Right? I guess you could make an argument that it could be, depending on what the law is, but it's gonna be right. It's not a worry about gift tax. All right. Let's see, John, because all right, sweet. John, because he's new here, we got 2 questions and we're going to have to get out of here, my friends. 560 in tax preferred Roth can start in IRA. Should I leave the 550? All right, 560 in a tax deferred Roth. Can I start in IRA? Should I leave the 550 and not convert? Why would you convert? I don't get it, man. So if it's a tax preferred Roth, why would you convert that? I'm confused, brother. If you're in a 35% tax bracket, I don't think I would, unless you're going to have $1 million a year pension. I just don't think I'd be doing any Roth conversions at this stage. Yeah, your income tax is going to go low. It certainly will. Bar soy. Ooh, speaking of which, I had some soy sauce and some Worcester sauce on my part of my brine, and then I put in my pork chops. My wife and I are 50 years old, 59, total 401k is 750, total in savings 40K. Can we retire in a year and live on 50K per year until 67? We start collecting Social Security. Yeah, you certainly can. It's 50K. 50 divided by 750. Yeah, 6.67. Absolutely, 6.67 a year for 8 years. Then you'll get 32K from Social Security, which will be, you only need 18K left of whatever you have. So 18K for simplicity. I don't have any qualm with that at all. You'd want to run some numbers there, bar soy. Don't just listen to me on the back of the envelope of my trusty T1 T Texas Instrument too. But yeah, it'd be fine. All right. So All right. Well, I'm going to have to get out of here, my friends, because sorry I can't answer all these questions, but my wife is texting. She just landed. And I got to make sure Pablo did not drop a load on the carpet and get everything squared away. I appreciate y'all being here. If you have any other questions, just email them on the show notes here. I'll put it. I'll post this later on today. Email it on there, and I'll get to the best I can, or email me direct. I get to the best I can. I got a lot of Q&A questions revved up for this week, which I'll get to as well. Thanks, guys. Much obliged you being here, and we'll see you next week. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 7:30 p.m. Thanks, guys. All right, buddy. You ready? Good boy, Pablo. You're a good dog, Pablo. Yeah, I love you. All right, let's go, everybody. Go.